Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
State Labor has been accused of abandoning its positions on political donation reform and the Macquarie Point Stadium. Premier Jeremy Rockliff, meanwhile, has survived a lengthy no-confidence debate in Parliament.
It was a slim victory, but a victory nonetheless.
Ayes 10, noes 10. In accordance with Standing Order 167, I cast my vote with the noes, and therefore the noes have it.
His vote helping Jeremy Rockliff survive a marathon 6-hour no-confidence motion. The project of state significance order for the Macquarie Point Stadium also passing, as the House sat into this morning. Ministers gleeful at Labor siding with the government.
They don't even know their position on Mac Point. They were arguing against it, and last night they voted for it. I mean, what do they stand for?
The Premier says he can build a stadium with a roof on it at Macquarie Point for $715 million. We say he can't. Well, here's a chance.
Labor also facing pressure elsewhere, forced to defend abandoning plans to amend the government's proposed electoral donation laws in the Legislative Council.
We think that what we're doing gives us a chance of having some disclosure laws in place. We can't make the perfect be the enemy of the good here.
Mr Winter says comments from Elise Archer forced him to change tact. Upper House MPs furious at the U-turn.
A lot of people are feeling very disappointed in that decision. It is entirely up to Labor to demonstrate how they will proceed.
If you're prepared to abandon your principles when you're trying to win government, how could we possibly trust that party if they were to gain government?
The Greens say the opposition have chosen strategy over principles.
There were mechanisms available in the House to bring that bill on for debate, so we don't accept Labor's views.
It's simply not possible to get through the Parliament as it stands all of the amendments that we wanted to.
Guy Barnett says the government wants to see the donation reforms progress, but some warn its implementation could still be delayed until after the next election.
It may not be proclaimed until whenever the government decide.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Councils across the state are hitting back at a lack of consultation as the government moves to overhaul how levies are collected to fund fire services. A single charge paid through property rates is being floated as a way to simplify the system. But the Local Government Association says some property owners will pay up to 10 times more.
We want the feedback from the local community, from local councils, from businesses, ratepayers, the like.
The plan is open for public comment until November 5. Fire permits will be needed in Northern Tasmania from 2 a.m. tomorrow. The TFS announcing residents in the region will need to apply if they plan to burn an area larger than 1 cubic metre. Experts say long-range weather forecast and soil conditions are behind the decision.
We will see a drying trend, so those that live in the north of the state can expect that the conditions will continue to deteriorate over the summer.
Authorities are continuing to monitor conditions in northwest Tasmania. And meanwhile, Tasmania's emergency services are on high alert tonight, preparing for flash flooding as forecasters predict a wild weekend. The entire state is in the firing line with an unpredictable low-pressure system bearing down on the north coast.
Blue skies and sunshine, but don't be fooled. A low-pressure system will pass over Tasmania this weekend, bringing potentially dangerous conditions.
Heavy rainfall with thunderstorms, and that is most likely about eastern Tasmania from late Saturday afternoon through until early Sunday morning.
Exactly where it will hit is unknown. However, widespread rainfall of 30 to 50 millimetres is possible from Devonport to Hobart, with higher falls likely in isolated areas. From north to south, the SES is ready, standing up regional operations centres to monitor and respond to conditions.
We don't know where they're going to actually impact the state, but we do know that wherever severe thunderstorms do impact, there is significant potential for flash flooding and significant risk associated with that.
Dangerous wind is also on the cards for some areas.
There is currently a severe weather warning for damaging winds over northwestern Tasmania, and those winds are starting to increase tonight and will continue through until early Saturday afternoon.
With the high level of uncertainty, authorities are asking us to monitor conditions and, if necessary, change our weekend plans.
Stay informed, stay safe. If they don't need to go near these areas that might be subject to the flooding, please don't go there. We know that the conditions can change under these circumstances very, very rapidly.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
KG5 Oval has honoured some of its most successful and supportive players, branding their names on one of its grandstands. The Jeeves Eid Stand unveiled as a tribute to Brett Jeeves and the Eid family for their significant contributions to Glenorchy's football and cricket clubs over the years.
I spent a lot of my youth involved with the football club, and my father being involved with both, the cricket and the football club, and my brother as well. So it certainly goes back a long way. I think my dad first started in '57.
To be able to come back and contribute some good cricket and share what I'd learned from professional cricket to the younger players, and to have some success through that was, just an enormous thrill.
Both parties vowing to continue to help out wherever possible. With kitten breeding season just weeks away, a leading feline welfare group is calling for more foster carers. 10 Lives Cat Centre currently has 140 volunteers on hand, but is desperately seeking another 70 to deal with the increased demand. Its intake expected to rise by 200
Some of them come from
cats.
backgrounds where they've been found on a farm, or they've had to be surrendered from somebody who can't take care of them anymore, or some are from deceased estates, and it's not that cat's fault that it's got into that predicament.
What the foster carer provides is a safe home environment and all the love, care and attention that is needed.
Tasmanians can foster a cat for as little as a weekend with training, as well as food, litter and vet costs covered by 10 Lives. Australia's best emergency responders united in Tasmania last night for the National Search and Rescue Awards. Tasmania Police Sergeant Damien Bidgood was among those honoured, receiving a final gong before retiring his badge.
Ticking off 30 years in the force and a lifetime of meaningful work, Sergeant Damien Bidgood receives the prestigious Long-Standing Contribution Award. One final token of appreciation for his efforts in search and rescue before he settles into retirement.
Definitely a very humbling moment, definitely a good way to go out with my career.
Damien Bidgood joined Tasmania Police when he was 29, fulfilling a lifelong dream.
I've always wanted to be a policeman. I was actually too short when I left school, so I had to go away and grow a bit.
Now qualified as a police diver, land squad member, air crewman and more, Sergeant Bidgood has made an outstanding mark in the field with hundreds of missions to show for it.
Some of the big ones, the Scandia rescue, the rescue off Bishno, the cave rescues. It was a great experience to work with all the volunteer cavers around the state and get those people back to the surface.
A rewarding chapter coming to a close.
It is time to move on and enjoy retirement, but I will miss the people I've worked with and the exciting challenges I've had with them along the way.
Leaving a short and simple message to anyone wanting to follow in his footsteps.
Do your best and just enjoy it.
Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
The Hurricanes will kick their WBBL season off in about half an hour at UTAS Stadium without Nicola Carey, who's been ruled out through injury. The Canes hopeful this could be the year they make their first grand final appearance, and beating a strong side like the Scorchers first up will be a sign they have what it takes. After a strong performance at the Oceania Cup, Launceston's Josh Commons has been given another green and gold jersey to represent Australia at the Hockey Fives World Cup. Fives is a relatively new version of the game, combining indoor and outdoor styles of hockey. With players spread across the country, the World Cup side has been preparing mostly via Zoom. They'll need to finish in the top 2 of their pool to progress.
Our pool does look like a nice pool. Obviously we do have New Zealand in our pool as well, who we did play in the final of the Oceania, but we have Kenya and Trinidad and Tobago, who were also quite strong.
Josh travels to Oman in January for the tournament. In the Hockey 1, the Tigers men have named an unchanged squad as they look for back-to-back victories tonight against the Thundersticks. The squad brimming with confidence after dishing out a 7-0 thrashing in Canberra last week. The women, meanwhile, are facing an uphill battle for their first win of the tournament. And Lou, it wasn't looking good for the women when I first came to the studio, but I've just been told through my earpiece they have scored a goal. It's now 3-1.
All good news down that earpiece. Thank you for that, Nick.
Good evening. Today, Hobart 18. A little warmer in Launceston and St Helens, taking out the state's top today with a lovely 25 degrees. Devonport and Burnie both 16. Ouse 24, King Island 23. Flinders Island and Lywening sharing a top of 21. 20 for Friendly Beaches and Strawn. Smithton and Lowhead 19. Grove 18, Maria Island 17. Today, the visible satellite picture shows areas of high cloud over the state. Low-level cloud is seen over southern parts of SA and Victoria, associated with a cold front and a low pressure system. Convective cloud is visible over inland Queensland, and the top end, the remainder of the country, is relatively cloud free. Tomorrow, a high extends over the Tasman Sea, directing a ridge of high pressure along the east coast. A low pressure trough lies over WA, the top end, and inland Queensland, extending through New South Wales into Victoria as a low pressure system approaches Tasmania. Southeast to northeasterly winds 20 to 30 knots, reaching up to 40 knots in the northwest. West to south westerly swells in the west and south, reaching up to 2 metres. A severe weather warning for damaging winds has been issued for parts of the western, northwest and the central plateau tomorrow. A gale warning has also been issued for the far northwest coast and the southwest coast. There is also a strong wind warning for many inland and coastal waters. A flood warning also exists for parts of the north, northeast, Huon, Derwent and southeast catchments. Also a warning to sheep graziers in the southeast. Tomorrow, Hobart, heavy falls expected, 17. Rain forecast for Maydena, 16. Similar conditions in Oatlands with 15 degrees. Showers increasing in Launceston, 20. Showers and 18 in Devonport. A high chance of rain in Lywening, 13 to the top. Burnie, showers 16. Rain predicted for Strawn, 22. Showers and windy conditions in Marrawar with 18. St Helens, showers increasing, 18. Much the same for Swansea, 17. Heavy falls for Orford, 16 degrees. Sunday, possible showers with heavy falls about the southeast and a chance of a morning thunderstorm about the east. Monday, those showers are likely to ease, and Tuesday, showers increasing mainly about the west. Looking further north tomorrow, 23 and cloudy in Melbourne, sunny and 26 in Sydney, 29 and partly cloudy in Brisbane, partly cloudy and a very balmy 34 degrees in Darwin. And taking a look now at current conditions, it's currently cloudy in Hobart, Launceston and Devonport. Lou, I apologise for being the bearer of bad news for this weekend's dire weather forecast. It is a timely reminder, though, to please stay safe on our roads.
It certainly is. Thank you for that, Kaya. That is all your news for this Friday. I'll be back later on with updates. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good night.